So I won't be full asshole. I'll be partial. A lot of people don't want to grow. A lot of people are comfortable. And I'm good with that. I'm not here to change nobody. I'm not. I'm speaking directly to people that feel as though like I want more from life. Like I deserve more, right? Like I need more. Like that's who exactly and specifically who I'm talking to. And if you happen to feel that way, then you have to start to do things that stretch you. Like you have to get like uncomfortable, right? In all aspects of your life. That's the only way to evolve is to get uncomfortable. You can't grow if you're still doing the same thing, right? That mean it may means, forgiving others, quicker. It may means loving yourself better. It may means getting a better understanding of where you're heading to. And it definitely may mean cutting some people the fuck out your life, right? Because you can't grow if you're still surrounded by, haters, the naysayers, the people that don't want nothing.
Welcome to the Love Is Podcast with your host, that thorny chick, Karen KK Rose, and her co-host, the lovable a-hole, that's right, I said lovable, Mr. DK Walker, where they will be discussing love, relationships, family, life, sex, self-help, and what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. Why? Because love is everything, and everything should be loved. Now to today's podcast.
Hello, everyone. It's your girls, that Thorny Chick, Karen KK Rose, alongside my co-host, the lovable asshole, DK Walker. DK, how you feeling?
Let's see. We're recording this podcast at the break of dawn. And I had coffee, a couple of Nutter Butter peanut butter cookies. I'm on a low key sugar high, but I'm pretty sure as the podcast feeds along that sugar high will be enhanced. So, to answer your question, say again.
I said, when the caffeine drops.
No. I usually do the reverse. Like I know when I'm about to crash because it's like, it speeds to the end. Like, and then it's just off the cliff, like Wild E. Coyote, right? So I'll be having that high and it's like a steady incline. And then I notice the more revved up I get, I know that the Uber crash is coming, right? So, hopefully we can get through this podcast before, I get to slur my words and talking about 1956. I don't know what the fuck that means, but just be slurred and talk about shit that has nothing to do with nothing.
Before Shady Pines need to come take you for your nap.
Yeah, right. I just woke up from my nap and didn't think about it. I wasn't even born in 56. So what the fuck would I be talking about?
I don't know. You need to call my parents.
Shit, I need to call my own. Yeah, to say the least. So what's good with you, man? Bring us up to speed briefly, because you have this tendency to be giving.
You always gotta yuck my yum.
It ain't that, but you want to be giving people a book, right? You want to give people a real live life story, right?
I can't help it. I'm an author, a blogger, and now a podcaster, sir. I don't know what you want from me.
Okay, cool.
This is the life you helped me get. Here we are.
Right. Okay, cool. So let me help you out, right? So if if I'm your mentor and you're my mentee, if I said that correctly, right? Less is more. And that's for anybody that's writing a book. Like the thing is, because we live in a microwave generation, people just want to get to it. They don't need the big build up anymore. They don't need the big setup. They just need to get into the action, and the action got to be uber exciting because you don't have to, develop the story. So when I ask you how you doing, I don't need the minute details. I don't. And for the authors out there, for the writers, like people like give them enough to point them in the direction and then get to the shit. Matter of fact, somebody cash at me because I just gave somebody a gem writing jewel. Cash at me, please. $2.99 for that jewel.
The minor details aren't for you, sir. It's for the listeners. And
I promise you, they feel the same way. They'd be like, "Okay, she cute. Okay, that's a great story. Moving right along." God. I mean, I tell you what, we'll poll the listeners then. Like what you do, we're highly active on social media, right? So you go ahead and crank out a poll and be like, "Okay, am I long-winded? Do y'all want me to get to the meat of the matter, or do y'all want the sides?"
The audacity.
Like you have to understand, right? Like, being long-winded for a man is a bonus. It's, he ain't done yet. No, he's not.
Listen, in somebody's dream world, that's happening. No.
What? What you mean somebody dream? Like, I don't. Okay, the younger me, the older me is like, just can we cuddle? But the younger me, man, please, don't you? Yeah, you shitting me? Sun coming up.
That's that. Don't you move?
No. The sun coming up. They looking back like you ain't know. I promise you. This is anyway. It's not that type of podcast. We ain't gonna talk about past glory.
It kind of always goes that way.
Like, we ain't gonna talk about past glory, but I'm just saying, got to be creative. Like I think, you just got to be creative. I'm not. So many rabbit holes I'm going to jump down, but got to be creative. But anyway, because you're right, I'm long-winded and I gave people a bunch of fluff. Got my hand up. I get that. So what's going on with you? Briefly.
Same old. I really wish y'all would wear your mask and wash your hands and stay quarantined as much as you possibly can. Obey your state rules, but y'all don't want to listen. So, here we are. COVID, never kind of got their break. It never kind of really took a break. It kind of slowed down a little bit. Well, but it's really definitely.
But is that my bad for cutting you off, right? So let me touch that, right? I know you're flustered. You'll be all right. Look, but you're asking people to go against their habits, right? So other countries, it was mandated. Like we're doing a hard lockdown, stock up, shut it down. Like other countries, pardon me, right? They did a hard mandate of stock up, and they did that, and so their numbers dropped drastically because they made the people, do something that wasn't in their habit. America is still trying to appease the people and solve this doggone pandemic. You can't have it one way, or the other. You can't. It doesn't work that way. You got to tell Americans, and of course, Americans with all their civil liberties and they believe their government given rights. And I'm not knocking that, right? But in the same
I feel like the election had a lot to do with it too.
Meaning what?
Because it's an election year, nobody wants to upset the quote unquote American people because it is an election year. Yeah, they're going to use everything that's going on, especially the pandemic, to their advantage.
But every election year, there's always, something going on, right? I'm like, just check the history. Like, just look back every election year that we got some type of catastrophe.
SARS, Ebola, H1N1,
right. So this ain't nothing new. We ain't going on that rabbit hole because that's not our lane, but. Right. But what I am saying is just that until the powers that be that govern these United States, that was a good cleanup, by the way. Thank me. They just need to do a hard boy. If they don't do a hard boy lockdown, man, look, numbers going to fluctuate until the numbers fluctuate. So, I know you're asking people to wear their mask and all, but you just got to, the government really has to step in and shut down. If that doesn't happen no time soon, then this pandemic will become just a way of life.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not even so much like it used to be for the public appeal. It really used to be like, please wear your mask because, we were seeing what it's doing. But at this point, I'm really just petitioning for us on the healthcare side. It really has taken its toll. It really, really has. It really, really has taken its toll on us, more so emotionally and physically than anything.
Right. Well, that's anybody that's still working, right? And don't get me wrong. I think, because y'all right on the front lines because y'all see the cases coming. Y'all see the whole thing. So my hat is off to you and the likes of you. The whole staff from the janitors own up to the most expert doctor in all hospitals. Right. Everybody's, because y'all frontline, that's not a problem. But there's other areas that still affect us as well. And I'm not going to toot my own horn here, but I was at work yesterday. And for people that don't know, I'm a sanitation technician. That's a fancy word for trash man. So you have to understand people are still home, right? For the people, for the most part, which means they're bored, and out of boredom, they eat more. So the tonnage of the trash has increased, Gmo Nelly juice. Like what used to be easy days here and there, like every day is a hard day. Like you just don't run through routes no more. Like everything, like trash is out so not only are people that's right at the front line from it, like far as and I got to shout this out, my trash workers, my recycling guys, like we're still working. We haven't had no break, and our workload hasn't increased. So you get more people that's tired. You get, trucks are breaking down more. Like the morale is at an all-time low. Like this shit is weighing thin on America, at the lowest level, people talk about it on the news, but there's certain areas, within in the structure of America that's borderline about to break, right? And that's to come, as much as I don't want, because I don't want to be told what to do. I'm a grown ass man, but if they believe that a hard lockdown is needed, then a hard lockdown must be mandated so we can get back to some form of what we used to, what used to be our lives.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, until that shit happens, like, it's going to get incredibly worse before it gets better. But, anyway, so.
Here we are. My guy is upstairs, probably holding on to his pillow, drooling. My guy A and I have a birthday party to go to today. Chef Bay is at work right now, but he'll be by later. Things are going well. Getting ready to, we just had our first Thanksgiving, so we're full speed ahead into our first Christmas, and New Year. So things are well at the Reynolds household.
Cool. All right. That's what's up. You didn't ask, but I'll tell, what's going on with me. Same old. Life is good. God loves me. I'm still a sinning Christian. Yeah, that's it.
Aren't we all though?
I mean, most of y'all in denial. Like, most of you doggone Christians, you Bible thumpers, y'all be so much in denial. Me, like, no, got my hand up. I'm a sinning Christian. Like, it is what it is. I was, whatever, but it is what it is. So, there's nothing new on the horizon with me. I'm doing something a little different on, the biz side of our business, which is starting to pay dividends. But I can't lie, it's taking a toll because I've been uber tired. But, if you want something different, you got to do something different. So, but besides that, man, everything is good. Like, I'm blessed. I'm blessed in my worst times. I'm blessed in my okay times, and I'm blessed, in the best of times. So if I had to say anything, I definitely want to, let people know that, God is still in control of all things, no matter what you may believe.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. Or no matter what it may appear. I know it looks bad right now. Right. I know it looks really bad. Right. As of this recording, it looks bad. I'm like, it looks uber bad, but don't lose faith, whatever you do. So, but we good on this side of town.
You start holiday shopping yet?
I'm giving the gift of love. One size fits all.
Wow. In the spirit of gift giving, should that be the route you're taking this year, I have commandeered for the What the Fuck News some really great adult gifts to give.
Okay.
And you want to take a stab at any of them?
No, because I don't know where you dredging up this list from. I don't know if you be. I think
I don't
honestly,
know where you dredge up all this.
Nah, I think honestly, you be on the dark web to get your shit. I honestly think you got another computer. You be sitting down in your basement, with green lights around you on the dark web. That's just, and the wife beater and the can of beer. You know what I mean? Yeah,
that's all my business. Stop telling all my business.
I'm just sitting there and whatnot. You got the door locked. You got the shotgun by your side with a devilish grin looking down over your glasses.
That's not a shotgun. I'm too small. I'm only 5'5". If I had a shotgun, I bust my shoulder out.
It's not. It's all about the position. If you squat a little bit, you know what I mean? Lower center of gravity. My bad. I'm sorry. You be all right. It only hurt for a little bit. And then the girls, you got a lot of doggone cushion. The girls got you. Like, you got built-in doggone airbags.
Flotation devices? No. I still don't want to bruise. I still don't want to bruise from, my shoulder to the other side.
You tough cookie. Stop.
Anyway. Listen, I'm good with the handguns, and that's where I'll stay. I actually do. My dad did say he was going to take me to the range, though, because I'm taking, a bigger role in kind of what he does. And so he was like, Kira needs to go back to the range. I was like, are you sure? He's like, then he looked at me, he goes, second thought. He goes, I take her back out there. Next thing you know, she's going to be out there trying to shoot AKs. I said, exactly. Because, I got big dick energy. That's my problem.
No, stop. How do we get from What the Fuck News to like this naughty list that people should, to you got a dick? Oh my man, you said you got big dick energy.
Big dick energy.
Okay, how would you know unless you got a penis, how would you know what big dick energy is?
Listen, calm down. Or call the Shady Pines residents to come get you. Rub your pressure
got big
points.
penis energy.
Listen, I seen it pee. So how do you think that happens?
She said she got balls galore. Like, what the hell?
Okay. Listen, what was James Bond? James Bond was pussy galore.
You so dope. So maybe that's my problem. maybe maybe I got this medium dick energy. Maybe that's my whole life story.
Listen,
right?
We all know Aubrey, aka Drake, say big mood. That's my MO right now. I'm always in a big mood.
Well, I'm represent, medium dick energy for all the little medium dick guys in the world today. Put your hands up for the medium dick energy. That's how I'm feeling right now.
One time.
One time for the one time. One time for the mediums. One time for one time for the mediums. Put your hands up. Get creative, why don't you? Anyway, man, can we get
to the list? Yeah. So of course,
Please.
I feel like a guy kind of put this together because it's, it just seems guyish energy. Because it's things I swear that men more or less want to see than women, and then it gets a little.
Oh Jesus!
It goes a little.
You act like you women don't be kinky, not even kinky, but kinky.
Oh Lord, what is that?
That's what you women be, right? You act like you. So a guy can only be but so kinky, right? But when a woman's kinky, man, it's a whole new levels of kink. I promise you, when a woman's on one, I ain't talking about on one. I'm talking about on one, right? Yeah, it's another level. Like some women you avoid at all costs when on that kinky stuff.
Oh man. So of course the list is quite lengthy, and I'm not going to go through. It's about 30 of them, but it becomes repetitive. So the reason I can say that this kind of looks guyish is because there's of course lingerie, which I will say, shout out to the bondage boy shorts. I thought that was a nice touch to the list. There was this cozy quote unquote night shirt, which I'm like, no guy really likes his woman's pajamas that I know of. The ugly, I don't want to call them the ugly ones, but that's what I pretty much call them. The ugly pajamas, like the ones we really do wear to bed every night. Because very few women are wearing, sexy lingerie to bed every night.
Well, the ones that want, well, I'm not going to say that. I definitely would be canceled if I jumped out the window and talk about doggone kept women and sugar daddies. I'm not going,
Right. They have to. I mean, that's their admittance. Like,
that's their prerequisite. You better bring your ass to bed with your hair done, your makeup on. Right. And even if we don't do nothing, just look like we're going to do something.
Right. You got to have on stockings and heels and all that. Listen,
got a belt. Right.
That's the life you signed up for.
And bring your ass to bed just like that. Matter of fact, sleep with your head, your hand underneath your head so you'll mess up your hair.
Right. On a satin pillowcase. Like, y'all signed up for that. Now, the rest of us who, have mohawks, braids, and, sleeping bonnets and all that. Listen, we come into bed any old kind of way.
Jesus.
we wearing sweats with bleach stains. Like, come on now.
Straight mood killers. That's what
right.
Like, mood killers.
But listen, I don't care. Listen, you want what's underneath there. It's just like any other package. Unwrap it. Get to work, sir.
It's kind of funny. I've done that before, right? Like eons ago. Let me, preface that. Eons ago, like, your boy got busy. And in the midst, I'm looking like, oh, Jesus, she got rolls in her hair. So in mid-stroke, I start taking the rollers
and throwing them across the room. Oh, Jesus.
She was like, you go put them back. I'm like, if you want if you want me to maintain this G-force, you better help me take them out.
were the clamp one, the hard plastic ones, or the sponge ones?
The hard plastic boys. Like, no, they
snap cover. Mm-hmm. We all know. Yeah, listen, them choices are comfortable to sleep in as it is. So shit, you did her a favor.
Now I'm trying to. She had to do me a favor. I had to maintain. Like, and that was not helping the visual. Like, what? I'm banging somebody's mother. What the hell?
Not somebody's mom. Not the moms, yo.
Anytime you got rolls in your head like that, you look like somebody's mother. Like, and I'm young, so I don't want to look like I'm banging somebody's mother. Right now, I'm married. So I'm married with kids, so I'm always banging somebody's mother. But back then, like, that's not happening.
Lord. Of course, moving on to this list of outside of the lingerie, there's of course everyone's favorite, a good old vibrator here or there. Some luxe Luxe, Luxe, Luxe handcuffs. So not the kind that, Mr. Officer will snap on you, but these are a little silky and satiny and a little lacy. Of course, there's non-sticky lube, the sex pillow, which I actually will contest for. Sex pillow definitely is not a bad thing. There are bath salts, bath bombs.
Hey. We're not doing no glossing over for the rest of 2020, right? So we're gonna bring this new energy of no gloss over, right? That should be a t-shirt. Somebody go ahead and cash at me $5. So like, how do you know about the sex pillow, and how can you attest to its that its validity, that it works?
Personal use.
I mean,
and my whole thing is this.
That's a given. Can you expound upon how I expound upon the rollers, right?
Too.
And the medium dick energy.
My thing is this. Well, listen. A big dick energy. The thing is this. I feel like between you and I and the podcast and our listeners, obviously we all are, I think to a very, very, I don't want to say the degree, but there's a lot of kink going on. Obviously, if my favorite part of the show, mostly generally, is the what the fuck news. So obviously we're all a little depraved here, but I don't think anybody should still at this point in life be prudent and be like, oh, I can't have, or, oh, listen, y'all having boring sex, especially in 2020, like you doing yourself a disservice. So as far as the pillow goes, listen, regardless if he's got big dick energy, small dick energy, medium dick energy, the pillow helps you out.
What else medium?
Oh, schmedium. Or you got schmedium. Forgive me. The thing is this. Nobody wants to put that much effort into having sex. Let's just be honest. That's just not what we want to do. But so any help you can get in any position, that's what you should go for. The sex pillow is one of those things. The sex pillow helps hold up, position. If you want to try a new position and he maybe got a bad back or some bad knees, trust me, the pillow will help.
Or his stomach is in the way.
Right. Like, listen, that pillow is an equal opportunity lover. It will help you do some things. You will feel like you're 20 again when you have not been 20 in a minute. Okay, so
when you haven't been 20 and 20.
Right.
You had to think about
20 and 21, 20 and 25. Listen. So my thing is whatever you can do to help, I'm all, and I think a lot of times, like when we think of sex toys and any type of sexual aid, mentally we all go towards lubes and toys. And it's like, there's a whole lot outside of that. Facts. That you can do. So if you have not, maybe gandered for, Christmas time is coming. Ladies, this is just my little PSA. If you have not, looked at maybe a Pure Romance magazine, there's some other places that you can look, adamandeve.com, your local toy store, it might not be a bad thing. Do you know? Just take a gander.
Right. You was doing a great job when you did your Pure Romance. And I thank you for that because, my wife works,
Absolutely.
That's her. Right. So we're not going to talk about Adam and Eve. We're not sending nobody to the competition. Matter of fact, we're going to send people to the link where you can buy offline. Exactly. Right. So and I'm sorry, I just hijacked your WTF. Please forgive me. But yeah, if you want to actually purchase any of those things that my co-host had listed, we're going to have a link.
I wasn't done yet though.
In the show, I know, but you start talking about Adam and Eve, and Adam and Eve money don't fluctuate in my household, but Pure Romance money is running rampant in my household, right? So anyway, please forgive me. Go ahead.
Nikki is the love helper, so if y'all need a little help, she's there for you. So also on the list is CBD oil, which however, listen, I ain't about to yuck nobody's yum. However y'all want to work that out, that's y'all thing. But ones that, of course, kind of suit my fancy. There is a moisture resistant blanket. So here's the caption now, because of course this is the part I love. Is sex is messy. Got a germ freak in your life? Give them this blanket so they never have to fall asleep in those sexy juices again. Basically the wet spot. And it's machine washable.
Okay, I was just thinking like if you sweat while you slept, like you just if you're
No,
sweaty
not
ass.
that. No. There's sheets for that too, but not right now.
Okay, I just thought they were talking about the sweaty part.
No. It's the avoidance of the wet spot.
Right. Well, some women don't. Some women are, drives them a hobby. So I don't know.
I don't know anything about that part. Of course they did some honorable mentions. And again, my thing with sex toys is we always gear towards the women. They did make mention of a good old cock ring, which, again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not, gandered outside of a regular traditional vibrator, they did have a butt plug on there. Listen, I ain't here to yuck nobody's yum. I'm just here to enlighten the public. That's all. So, take a little gander as to what is out there. Also that made the list, bondage tape.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm so tired. Just,
You, do you need to have a moment? I mean, I felt like you had more than a V8 right there.
Just saying, just
listen. Yeah, that part I ain't gendered on. One that I actually was very, very interested in and, kind of had to star is it's called a massage candle. So for those of you who don't know what that is, it's a candle that obviously you light, kind of helps set the mood. You pour the melted wax on your lover and it turns into, what's a good way to word this, DK? It turns into a good time.
Right. To say the least, it does. Like, so what happens is they light the candle and they pour the wax down. They put a wax on. It's not hot. As soon as it hits your skin, it, gets like warm to cooling. Right. And then you take that wax and you massage it in.
It's a Prince video come to life. So hint, wink, wink.
Right.
You might want to do that. And then this got real interesting real fast, of course, in all my depravity, of course, of things, you gotta have two things that, of course, make that stand out, DK. One is a vibrator necklace.
Did you say a vibrator necklace?
I did not stutter.
So how you gonna have, what you gonna have, is the clear on your chin now? What the hell?
This sleek vibe doubles as a necklace that anyone could totally wear in front of their grandmother without her knowing its true function. Better yet, get it for your grandma. You go, grandma.
Right. They got a picture of that?
Of course.
You got to post. Okay. You got to post that, right? Because people need to see that visual. Matter of fact, that post is going to go up, same time that this podcast is coming out, right? So, we can use that, as a little promo work. They only got to cut the check because I need to see that myself, right? That doesn't even make an ounce of sense to me, right?
Oh, it gets better.
It gets better.
Mm-hmm. The number one gift was actually, of course, I say the best last, a nipple and clit clamp necklace.
Try saying that shit fast 2 times.
You go ahead.
A nipple and clit necklace.
Clamp.
Okay, I got it. Okay.
Clamp.
A nipple and what?
Nipple and clit clamp necklace.
A nickel. Nickel.
Listen,
I'm not even going to try to repeat it for the second time. I didn't even.
So for those of you who are, kind of into that thing, if you know what a nipple clamp is.
Okay, that's a given, right?
Right. Now they've added the clit to it.
I think clothespin.
It's not a clothespin per se, but it really looks like a body chain. So think of, a lot of the newer artists are kind of wearing them. But if if we all remember Janet Jackson's whole like 1990 That's the Way Love Goes, that kind of body chain, those kind of body chains. So it kind of looks like that. So there you have it. Those are some very interesting gifts you can gift to someone else. Outside of, the typical lingerie and vibrator.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. That was interesting, man. I mean, I'm still stuck on the nipple
Clit clamp
clit clamp. Nipple
necklace.
clit clamp necklace. Try saying that shit fast one time. Nipple clit clamp necklace.
There you go.
Nipple clit clamp necklace. Nipple clit clamp necklace.
All right. Now, besides listen.
Yeah, bring
Listen.
out the bondage tape and the hot wax to go with that, boy. And play some doggone easy jazz in the background. I'm sorry.
Not easy jazz, not the elevator music, child. Not the elevator music.
No. Just a slightly bit up tempo from that, right? To really set the doggone mood, and you know what I mean, to pique the anticipation of the moment.
You out here playing Kenny G?
I don't know what I'm playing. I just went off on a mental visual for a second, right? I just went mentally down that hole. Like, okay, I can put all that shit together, you know, and play doggone doctor.
There's gonna be an operation, all right. It's gonna be an operation,
to say the least. But listen, you and your what the fuck news, man?
I was gonna say your resident, you know, your girl, the Thorny Chic, never tries to disappoint, even as we close out the year.
Yeah, but you gotta
season.
Right. You gotta stay off the fucking dark web, man. Whatever you do, just stay off. You know. Come out the basement. I give the
people what I give, huh?
Say, come out the basement.
No, I like it.
Yeah. Come out the basement, let some sunlight in. Throw away the doggone wife beater, right? Yeah. When you sitting there on the wife beater with the can of beer on the dock with right.
The beer I'll give you, yes. The wife beater I will not.
Okay, cool. Right, not a problem. Just the stuff that you just named, that which is some like all of it to me personally, because y'all know I got problems, I got issues. Yeah, it piqued my interest. But you know, so it is what it is. But that was great. I really did enjoy that. What the fuck news? And I will concur. Like that's a lot of that shit was a man. I'm not even go to bat and try to give you. Counterpoint on how that couldn't have been a man. I promise you that out the world kinky shit, that was all man. Like a woman's not gonna be like, no, I'm good. And not saying that she wouldn't be into it, but she's not gonna go that deep in thought of it. Mm-hmm. A man is going to be scientific and borderline fucked up in the head as he devised this crazy shit. That's just how we men folk are.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, the list itself is 30 gift ideas, but it became repetitive. It was lingerie. Like I said, the bondage boy shorts was a nice touch, because it's different. Because I don't think, you know, again, I think some people still are, you know, not our listeners, but a lot of people still, you know, think inside the box. You know, they're afraid to go outside the box, and that's fine. But
no, shit. Like, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know. I honestly disbelieve with the whole thing and whatnot. I think if you're having a boring sex life or a sex life that you don't like, you have to have right. True, it is, because you're not having an honest conversation because you're scared of couple of things, right? You're scared of judgment being passed, right? And I understand that that's a fear, because what happens is you get in an argument and that person will take that bit of information that you shared with them in confidence and they'll use that to hurt you. Right. And we live in a social media age, right? So if she or he, because it's not exclusive to women, if they are petty, then they're going to put you on blast on social media. Right. And so that's, you know, a big fear for most people. But here's a newsflash, people. I mean, you know, more people, you know, believe it or not, behind closed doors, got some type of kink in them somewhere. So if a person's going to out you and then you get clowned, I promise you there's something else, maybe a day later, that'll make, your embarrassing moment a complete afterthought. There's always something coming down the pike that's going to hold the short, you know, attention span of the public. You just got to be patient and ride that storm out. But that should not stop you from at least having an adult conversation about what you want to start, continue, or resume in your sex life. If your sex life sucks, just, you know, have a conversation, just talk, you know, and don't try to, you know, belittle a person or make them feel, just have a conversation. And then if that's not their cup of tea, then see if you can reach a medium. Right. But then you got to, like, I think, you know, not only because it's, you know, the New Year's fast, the New Year's fast approaching, it's your life. Like, you got to take control of your life. And, you know, having great sex is a great way to take control of your life.
Right. And if you're like me, new to a relationship, get get them to sign a non-disclosure, a prenup, and soon a postnup.
Sounds like you didn't give that shit some thought.
I did. I've actually had these conversations. I think you'd be very proud of me about the conversations I've had. But yeah, I was like, you have to sign a non-disclosure. You need to sign a prenup, and you gotta have. And I said, after 5 years, we can do a postnup.
All right, man. Shit, cross your T's and dot your I's.
Man. It can't be easy dating the Thorny Chic. It can't be, because I feel like to a certain degree, there's it's like, for even for you, it's like it's being married to you. There's you, the lovable asshole. The other side of the business. It's becoming very multiple personality.
Jesus, Monella, you spoken a mouthful.
Nah, it can't be easy date. For me, it can't be easy for me to date me, because you never know when I'm on and when I'm off. You never know what's going to be. What's going to go to the podcast. I kind of did tell him the other day at Thanksgiving, like, because he's speeding through. He's catching up on the episodes, and so I was like, funny story. I mean, you've been on the last 5 in some way, shape or form. There's, your nickname you might not like. And so he takes it all in stride, and he's always supportive, but I was just like, moving forward, this is where DK and I are going. So, I mean, you might need to sign some paperwork. That's all. I just kind of dropped it out there. Okay. Very casual conversation.
Right. He looked at you like, what? I've been knowing you shit over 20 years.
Listen, 20, right? And my parents pushed me out, and they can still sign non-disclosures too. What?
Okay, cool. Not a problem. All right.
So I asked you earlier about, had you done any Christmas shopping?
Of course, my Grinch ass said, of course not. I'm giving the gift of love. One size fits all.
Okay. I want you to try to wrap that and give that to MJ. You let me know how that goes, because that's going to be a world star moment.
First of all, you have to understand, although my daughter did show her herself, I'll be nice, because I did threaten to beat her ass a couple of podcasts ago. I said, I realized, I listened, I did say I was going to beat her ass on air. It didn't get edited out.
Listen, that's the funniest moment ever. Don't apologize. It's like, oh God. And she was so matter of fact about it. I mean, I had not witnessed her peasant be going face until right then. And when it happened, I was like, oh, this is what he means by peasant be gone.
That child treats her father like, wow. It's a good thing I didn't have a son, I promise you.
And I could only imagine how she was looking at you. And then you had to call her back to get on air. And she's like, I am not here for you, son. Like, she was not here for it.
This is true. This is the lack of respect that I garner in my household, my kingdom, the laughing stock. Oh, I should abdicate my throne and move on. I should. That's what I should do. Right. So you were alluding to gift giving because it is the holiday season. Christmas is fastly approaching. And by the time people will be listening to this podcast, Christmas will be, I want to say 2 days away.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay, cool. So what do you have in mind, since you're telling me that giving the gift that I said I was going to give wouldn't work for MJ, but she gets that gift all year long, right? She gets the gift of love, So I think she takes it for granted because she be talking to me like I'm one of her friends. I'm at the karate chop her in the throat one of these days, but I digress. Anyway.
Listen, she act like my dad. She's my dad's kid and not your kid. That whole peasant be gone, boy. We're not doing a whole lot this year. I think all the you'll be very proud of your guy. He was very studious and took the Target. He went very old school. He took the Target toy catalog and got a Sharpie and just circled what he wanted and then casually just left it on the dining table. And then when nobody really kind of made a whole lot of mention about it, then it was like, oh, did you see the Target catalog? I said, oh, the ones that you circled? He's like, yeah. I said, yeah, I saw it. I just, haven't mentioned anything to you about it. He went from like normal stuff like a skateboard to, a $500 PS5 that he just, somewhere in his mind has conjured up that he has earned in 2020.
I mean, how can you think that he hasn't, right?
I know his mother and I know him.
What does his mom have to do with it, right?
A lot. Listen, if she want to go spend $500 on his PS5, she is more than willing to. And honestly, your guy is smart enough to go hit my dad up for it anyway. Which my dad kind of was like, you think I should? I said, I know you lying.
Bro, why you? Oh, now you hating. See? Oh, how you go? That you are so wrong for that. You have to understand.
I'm not his grandparent. Listen. If my dad
but
wants
how
to
you
buy
gonna
his
tell
grandchild,
him? Right, but that's just the thing. Don't get in the way. Like if he go there, if your father asks you, you gotta let that play out. That got nothing to do with you. That's what grandparents are made for, is to spoil.
Exactly.
Right.
And he's good for it. He's good for it. Like he called me the other day. He's like, "Hey, I'm not gonna have time to do Christmas shopping for him. Can you do it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll be off for a couple of days." So I said, "Yeah, I'll get it done." And so he was like, "Well, how much money do you think I should spend?" So I just shot out a number. And my dad was like, "Nah, I'm going to spend." And I was like, "Well, at this point, you might as well just go ahead and buy the PS5. He goes, "Well, that might be the goal." I was like, "Oh, Lord." I'm like, "Whatever you want. It's your money." So I said, "I can't tell you how to spend it. That's your grandchild."
That would save you, and that would save, his mom, right? I can get other stuff to, go with that. Pardon me. But, that's cool. But things have changed, right? So when I was a kid coming up, when we wanted video games, they were like $100 if that. $97 best. We're talking about Atari, right? We're talking about ColecoVision. Like, I know, yes, I am that old, but how, as things start to evolve, price goes up. And I mean, if his grades, and him being, a good kid, still a boy, but a good kid nonetheless, like, let him rock out.
Listen, again, that's between him and my dad. Again, not doing anything really earth shaking as far as I feel like, as far as the gift giving goes. I was, like my mom, she's 60. So, she's 60 plus actually. And so she's now at the place where like she asks for household stuff that, makes her happy, such as like, she asked for like a fireplace insert. Like the fireplace at my house is not real. It's just cosmetically there. And so she wants a fireplace with the crackling sound. She's like, "Oh, I think the crackling sound comes as a separate box." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "If that's what you want, that's what you can have." Okay, please know that New Bay will be the one setting it up, because I'm not under any shape or form mechanically inclined. It's just not my thing. Again, this year has been different for everybody. And I don't know if I necessarily want to impress upon, my family to kind of look outside the box of the gift giving, because I just feel like, I don't know, like everybody's been asking me, "Okay, what do you want?" And I'm like, honestly, between you, me, and the listeners, there's nothing you can give me. Really. I feel like 2020 really owes me nothing, and there's nothing you could really buy to, like, for what this year gave me. Not for my peace of mind, not for my health, not for my safety, not for, even having New Bay and how that all happened. I mean, I think how it came about, and how, I kind of handled some people in the process of that definitely could have been better. But to know that, COVID didn't come to my doorstep, that it, that as many days and nights that I've worked, and, you being on the front lines, that COVID didn't touch either one of our houses. Our business has flourished, regardless of COVID, we still managed to squeeze out clients and still, put out really great content. And, we really weren't affected by it. Like my family as a whole, we're good. How do you package that? How do you put a bow on that? Didn't have to worry about the bills. Didn't have to worry about, the cars. Didn't have to worry about anything. Like, how do you put that in the box? Like, what do you buy somebody at that point? When at the end of the day, I'm beyond grateful. I'm beyond thankful.
I'm glad to hear that. I truly am.
So, since that is kind of the vein of how I'm feeling, I think we could help our listeners package their gifts a little better. I think, again, now this year with everything financially going on, there's better ways, to really get than to be wrapped up in what you give. And so what you get and so much more and then what you give.
Right. Let me help you out here, right? I know where you're going to, so let me definitely help you out here. So we're living in trying times, right? And this Christmas probably won't be like any other Christmas, even if you're still blessed to have an income coming into your household, even if you're still blessed to have, family that you can visit, even if you're still blessed to, have all the trimmings and the perks and all that stuff of Christmas. We want to actually, help y'all to understand there's greater gifts to be gotten than those physical gifts, right? And the list that we're about to share with y'all, well, at least our suggestions, is for the people that's struggling, and not necessarily financial, right? No, that's not what we're talking about. The gifts that we want y'all to give yourselves, right? We want y'all to, because I'm talking about all the people that's still holding together, right? All the people that's still trying to make it happen. All the people that's still rubbing two nickels together, trying to, squeeze out a dime, at their wits' end, being pretty much on lockdown if you can't get out the house. As far as being in the house and you've been there for quite a few months and your life hasn't changed, we want to help you give yourself the gifts to give you over the hump. Because a lot of people are under mental strain, emotional strain, spiritual strain. They're going through a lot. And then with you, if you put Christmas on top of that, right, then it becomes too much. So what we want to do right about now, we want to take a huge different approach to gift giving, right? And this gift that we're going to suggest, these gifts that we have or going to suggest for you is not for, it's for you, right? Anybody that's going through anything in that I just listed, these gifts or these suggestions is for you, right? And it has to do with with adjusting your mind and things of this nature. So with that being said, Karen, you want to start it off?
Well, you kind of have mentioned the first one is love. I think, and like you said, everybody's under mental strain. And I think we are in our best efforts not trying to take each other for granted. I think it just happens, whether it's relationships, romantic relationships, or just even person to person, your professional relationships and your personal relationships. You just have the tendency to take each other for granted. So, really take some time and take some inventory of your life and, really who might have helped you more in 2020. I think some people really took the time to look out for others more so than they did themselves. And so, communication has gotten kind of muddled along the way because we've all been trying to in self-preservation mode of our households, trying to get the kids together and things like that with virtual learning. So now is definitely a good time. If you haven't given Christmas cards or something like that, now's a good time to just, maybe write somebody a note and just say, listen, I appreciate you. I appreciate what you do for me. Because a lot of times, like I said earlier, it's not necessarily what you can package and, put a bow on. Some people do for you, in a lot of amazing ways. That's just good for you in a mental capacity and in a loving, emotional way.
Cool. Right. I'm going to touch on that a little bit different, right? I'm going to go down a different, we're still talking about love, right? And that's what you can do for others. But like I said earlier, my aim is for you and you personally, right? And I'm talking about love, but it's for you and you personally. There's certain things about yourself you probably are not fond of. There's certain aspects of your life that you want to gloss over and would completely forget if you could, right? I want you to give yourself the gift of love. And I don't mean loving what you believe is the best parts of you. I want you to emphatically love all, not a little bit, not partial. I want you to love all of you. Right. I want you to accept all of you as is, because it took those supposedly mistakes, messed up parts, the black areas of your life to be you. Right. You can't enjoy a beautiful day without going through some rain. Right. It's impossible. You can't enjoy great times without knowing what a bad time is. You can't. Right. So for all the parts of you that people like, for all the parts of you that people love to be around, there's parts of you that we keep trapped away, that we, secrets that we don't want nobody to know of. I want you to take time out to love all of that. Like just love all of you. Don't be because you can't really move forward and you really can't love the people in your life until you totally, right, and without shame, love all of you, right? So that's a gift that you definitely want to give yourself moving forward. Moving forward, like, don't even wait for Christmas. As soon as you hear this podcast, as soon as you hear this, I want you to like really just go ahead and be like, you know what? I got my faults. I got my shortcomings, but I'm still a good person. No. Scratch that. I'm still a great person despite of, and begin to love all you, and watch those things or watch those shortcomings that you believe that are shortcomings change because of your mentality is that you love all of you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And that's been one of our founding thoughts, is you have to love you, because when you're loving you, then you then set the precedent. You set the bar for how everybody else loves you, because if you're not loving you, then how is anybody else? And then you choose how you love yourself. You show other people how to love you in return.
Facts.
The other gift I feel like you could give yourself or even someone else, really is, and this one's a huge one for me, is forgiveness. I think so much times, like in the vein of forgiveness, we feel like forgiveness is for the other person, and it's not. It's so for you. It is for the fact that you got to sit in your own, and you just touched on that. Like, you got to sit in your own shit. You got to sit in your own muck. You got to sit in your own disgust and say, there's some things I could have done better. There's some things I could have done worse. But at the end of the day, this is where I am. This is who I am. And if you feel like there's changes that need to be made, then make them. But at the end of the day, the forgiveness is for you to set yourself free, because we want to make everybody happy. We want to make everybody feel a certain kind of way, in a good way. You never want somebody purposely to feel like shit unless they just, you on some spiteful shit, which we've all been there. We ain't gonna talk about that today, but forgiveness, we so many times are packaging it in the sense of it's for the other person. It's not. It's for your mental health. It's for your emotional stability. It's for you. If you can forgive you, if God can forgive you, why can't you forgive yourself?
Right. I shouldn't even follow that up. I like the way you finished strong with that boy. You know what I mean? Let me tip my hat to you. But exactly what my co-host said, right? You got to get in the habit of forgiving you, right? Like, okay, it's cool to forgive other people, right? And the reason that you should be quick, don't forget, please have a memory of an elephant. Why don't you? Don't forget. But you should be in the business of quickly forgiving others, because when you don't, right? That's the first thing. It's two parts of this, because when you don't, then they rent space in your head. And 9 times out of 10, they're not thinking about you. 9 times out of 10, they don't give a fuck about you. 9 times out of 10, they're going on happily. But as long as you dwell on the wrong that they did you, as long as you dwell upon how they should have did right by you, as long as you dwell upon these things, they're renting space free of charge in your head. And then that messes up your whole aura. And then you're like wondering why you feel, full of angst, why you feel on edge, because you're thinking, oh, they did me wrong. They borrowed money and paid me back, and such cheated on me, and I don't have the best relationship with my mom. Like, okay, forgive them, but don't forget, right? So, but I promise you, like, that will move mountains in your life. And the other thing is, when you get a bad thought of something that you did and you can't forgive yourself, right? Soon as because you know that feeling, right? I did such and such, right? And then you start to feel really bad about that, right? You want to shy away from that emotion. Like there's a show. It's called Impact Theory. The guy name is Tom. I can't pronounce his last name. If y'all hear this, Google that, whatever the case may be. But he said something that I've started using, and it helps tremendously, right? So he says, once you get a bad thought, right, that one that you always cower from, immediately think about something great about yourself, and let that bad thought become a trigger to trigger great thoughts to go on top of that. So look, so with me, I'll give you an instance. Like, I think, I'm wrong. I'm a great husband third time out. Great. Now, doesn't mean I have a great marriage. I have a good marriage. It could be better. You know what I mean? But my first 2 marriages, man, look, I was a piece of shit with corn. I was special shit. And so when I do tend to think about, like, I really, hurt 2 beautiful women. You know what I mean? Before I got to my third, right? I hurt. And then, so those thoughts, that guilty thoughts used to bother me. But soon as I would have those thoughts and not forgiving myself, not realizing that I was young at the time I got married, you know what I mean? I had issues galore. I start to supersede those thoughts with other thoughts where I'm doing much better now because I did them wrong. You know what I mean? I'm not doing my current wife wrong. Right. So you got to find a way to override those bad thoughts, with the areas of your life that you believe and that you're doing good in. Perfect way, to sustain the forgiveness of yourself.
That's a big one, is the forgiveness of self. The other one that I had is the gift of evolution. We want to, I don't even think we want to, I think we just buy into everyone else's parameters for our lives. Like, we believe in everybody else's glass ceiling and not the one that we make for ourselves. And the thing about glass is it's easily broken. It's just whether or not we try to break it or not. You are allowed to be better than you were last year. You're allowed to be better than you were yesterday. You are allowed to be a better version of yourself at any point given. It's when you want to start doing the work. It's when you want to move on. It's when you are at the point where you start drawing the lines in the sand and say, listen, enough is enough. I'm not going to be like my mom. I'm not going to be like my dad. I'm not going to be like my grandparents. I'm not going to be like anybody else. I'm going to be who God has created me to be, and that's it. And sometimes in that, we are afraid to be selfish and say, enough is enough. Like, I can't be who everybody wants me to be anymore. Like, it's kind of like tongue in cheek, because everybody wants to be like Mike. It used to be the old thing. Listen, I don't want to be like anybody else. I want to be like whoever God has created Kieran to be, period. Whoever the Thorny Chic is going to be this year, that's how we're going to close it out. But best believe before, 2021 gets here, the new me is, has already started evolving, and who I want to be and how I think and how I process and how I deal with my kids and how I deal with my business partner, how I deal with my bae and how I deal with my parents. That's all changing because as I give myself permission to be who I really want to be and be open to who I want to be, then the small changes start. And as the small changes start, then big things, begin to happen in the same sense.
Big things popping, little things stopping. Shout out to my boy T.I. Shout out to T.I. I like T.I. with his wordy ass. Like, that's my man right there, Let me piggyback off that, evolving piece, that evolution piece, if you don't mind, right? Like, there's a saying, I'm pretty sure y'all haven't heard this. If not, you're hearing it now. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. So it's kind of crazy. There's a mural on a wall on one of my trash routes, and every time I see it, I just look at it, and it strikes me every time. Like, I don't care what's going on. I don't care if I'm tired. I don't care if it's raining outside. I don't care if it's hot outside. I don't care if it's a beautiful day. I always take at least 2 to 3 minutes to and I stand there, and my tech be looking at me like, man, must we go through this? Like, yeah, I know the truck going. Y'all can go and keep going. I'm gonna catch up. Not a problem. So, but the mural says, true revolution starts with self-evolution, right? We like, you can't have a revolution without true evolution. Like, the change that we all want from the world, the change that we want from the government, the change that we want starts within. Bottom line, flat out, right? And so, if you're in growth, let me go ahead and be slightly asshole, right? So I won't be full asshole. I'll be partial. A lot of people don't want to grow. A lot of people are comfortable, and I'm good with that. I'm not here to change nobody. I'm not. I'm speaking directly to people that feel as though, like, I want more from life. Like, I deserve more, right? Like, I need more. Like, that's who exactly and specifically who I'm talking to. And if you happen to feel that way, then you have to start to do things that stretch you. Like, you have to get, like, uncomfortable, right? In all aspects of your life. That's the only way to evolve, is to get uncomfortable. You can't grow if you're still doing the same thing, right? That means it may means, forgiving others, quicker. It may means loving yourself better. It may means, getting a better understanding of where you're heading to. And it definitely may mean cutting some people to fuck out your life, right? Because you can't grow if you're still surrounded by, haters, the naysayers, the people that don't want nothing. Right, they got a saying that's out, and I'm pretty sure people didn't seen this saying across social media. Right, if you're around 5 dumb people, you're bound to be the 6. If you're around 5 rich people, you're bound to be the 6. So the company that you keep will make you uncomfortable, or it will keep you comfortable. That's a great starting area in your life, and to really piggyback off that, the company that you always with is yourself. So you have to stretch you before you, okay, cool. Right. Here we go. Look, so you got to start stretch you, like, as soon as you know that this is not working no more. This relationship is not working no more. I need to change. And in doing change, I'm going to force others to see my evolution. Either they're going to grow with me or grow the fuck away from me. Right. So we want this emphatic change, and that's all we want across the world. But it starts with Michael Jackson shout out. It starts with the man in the mirror. Excuse me. Let me be politically correct. It starts with the person in the mirror. Like, if you really want to evolve, if you really want to grow, I want you to look directly in the mirror, and it starts now. And don't take no shorts. Don't take none of that. It starts now, and hold yourself at the highest standard possible in whatever area that you want to grow in your life. And I promise you, if you stay consistent with that mental work, if you day after day, hour after hour, minute after minute, second after second, no days off with this new mentality, and you dig in, what happens, it becomes a way of life. It's my 2 cents, man. You know,
no.
Cash at me.
Right. And I was going to say that, like, the 2 things that I really love that you said is there's a cliche that says, or a meme that says, there's no growth in the comfort zone. And there isn't. If you are comfortable, you are definitely not growing because you have settled. And that's the part, like, we really have a hard time wrapping our minds around, is that we love to say, oh, I won't settle. But the thing is, at the point where there's no pain in your growth, there's no pain, you know, like, you don't feel pressurized in your movements. Like, you ain't going nowhere.
Facts.
Like, if somebody does not have a DK with their foot on their neck, like, listen, it's not fun. Nobody wants to be called to the carpet. Nobody wants to be, you know, get they whatever ripped out. But there's no comfort. There's no comfort when you're growing. There's none. It's painful. Nobody wants to continuously be critiqued. But at the same point, if somebody does not chip away at the parts of you that you no longer need, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to forever drag this shit on into the next year and the next year and the next year for what?
Until it becomes a way of life, right? That's what happens. So people wonder, how do I get here? Because you got here because of habits. Habits become things become a way of life. So I'm just going to break it down. It's real simple. Like, look, I'm not the brainy one, right? I may sound that way. I may give you, no. I promise you, my co-host, she's college educated, graduated college with honors. Okay, I'm lying again. I apologize. At least graduated. Look, so what I'm telling y'all is this. It's real simple. And I know habits are the hardest things to break because you've been doing whatever a certain way for majority of your life, or at least since you started that habit. So in order to get to break old habits, you have to replace them with new habits, right? And in replacing, so you have to be conscious of what you're doing. And people don't want to do that because if you're conscious of a bad habit, like even you do stuff so long, to you, it's not bad. To you, it's not hurting nothing. To you, it's not. So, but everybody looking at you like, oh, you don't need to do that no more. And you're looking like, what? I'm fine. I'm all right. But you've been doing it your whole life. So to combat that, you have to replace that bad habit with a good habit. But that's the hardest part because you're comfortable. Like, I got habits. I'm 51. I got lifetime habits, and I know that they're not going nowhere. They have galvanized within me, but I know that, okay, cool, not a problem, because I don't want to fall back on them. So what I'm currently doing in my life is I'm stretching myself in ways, and now those bad habits don't have time, because all you got is, okay, I'm going to help somebody. You got 24 hours in the day, right? And the way that you start your day is the way that you will finish your day. Right. So let me tell you what I've started to do. And I'm not bigging myself up. I don't want nobody to think I'm bragging. It's nothing special about me. It's not. I'm just a common sense type guy. Right. I barely got by in school. Right. I shucked and jived, found the sweet spot, make sure the teachers like me. You know what I mean? And I got by. Now, I pieced it together. So this is what I'm currently doing. I get up. I used to get up at 4:00. I get up like 2:30, 2:40 now. And I go live on IG on This Is For Our Business. Right. So I go live on IG every Monday through Friday, and I give, writing advice, little motivation, things other authors and writers could be doing a little bit better. You know what I mean? And my thing was, I never wanted to go live. Like, guys didn't heard my story before. I've suffered 2 horrific bouts of Bell palsy. I need dental work. So the last thing I wanted to do was be in front of somebody's camera, talking, right? I didn't want to do that, right? But I knew if I wanted my business to really grow, I had to be uber uncomfortable. Like, I had to be uber. Like, I had to be like, it had to hurt. And so, like, Monday was coming. And so I'm sitting there, I'm stuck. Like, cause I made the promise to my man. So what it is, like, we hold each other accountable. Little brother Kenny, shout out, love you, boy. Look, I said, like, look, I'm going. And he like, Monday coming, you straight? Like, yeah, I'm good. So it was Sunday. I'm sitting there like, and I'm going over the mental script, what I'm going to talk about, what I'm going to do. But in my back of my mind, like, this is not your lane. You could always be behind the scenes and motivate and push others. Like, okay, cool. But one day you got to play Jim Jones. One day you got to drink your own fucking Kool-Aid, boy. You got to sip that red Kool-Aid. And why do we call it red Kool-Aid? It's a flavor. We always say red, right? But be that as it may, I had to drink my own Kool-Aid if I wanted to go ahead and do something with my life. So I wasn't scheduled to do anything till that Monday morning. I came downstairs. It was Sunday. Just went live. I talked about 8-9 minutes and went out like, that didn't hurt. I didn't die. The sun still came up. That didn't hurt. I didn't die. And the sun still came up. What are you willing to do in your life? How, like you to change, you got to bring about change. You don't change just by wishing. You don't change. And I know we're being long-winded, but we really want to drive home this point, because if 2020 hasn't taught us anything, it has taught us the fact that our normal go along to get along is we can't, right? A lot of people are suffering financially, right? A lot of people, our families are in disarray, right? And we see this and we feel helpless. But the order to change these things is to put ourselves in a position where we're no longer relying on the government for handouts. We're no longer relying on the old way of doing things, right? It all starts with you.
Yeah. And it does. And the other part about the stretching, and I think the reason the stretching kind of speaks to me is I said to my dad the other day, I can't remember the conversation that Chef Bay and I had or whomever and I were talking about, but I called my dad and to check up on him. And I said to him, why didn't you tell me that God was it would feel like God was standing in me and like stretching his arms out. And he said, what do you mean? And I said, there's certain conversations now that I'm having and some healing that I'm doing that I feel like God is just stretching me to capacity, and not to break me, but just to make me like see like there's better on the other side. Like hold out, like Facts. You got this, like you will not break. I will stretch you and you will not break. And it was such like, there was comfort in it, but it was painful. Like that day I just kind of had to sit again in my own shit and be like, this ain't how I wanted the day to go. This ain't how I wanted to address this. This ain't how I wanted things to be. This is not how I want the people that, that I love to feel about me or towards me. But in the same sense, like I got to be selfish and start thinking about me and what I need and what I want and kind of directing my energy in that. But when you're getting stretched and you getting stretched to capacity, whoo, you want to talk about something painful. You want to talk about something that hurt. That right there. Ooh,
Facts.
It hurts. It hurts.
I'm sorry, but because we're going to put a bonus. But long story short, it hurts, right? But to me, and of course, I'm not a woman. Of course, I don't sit down to pee. And I don't know how true this is, but and I think it's a scientific fact, though, right? They say like after a woman gives birth, and she's having natural birth, right? And she's going through tremendous amount of pain. But as soon as that baby plops out, she doesn't remember that pain at all, right? Think about you growing, like it's going to be painful, like my co-host said. Like you're going to feel, pain spiritually, emotionally, and definitely physically, right? You're going to feel all these things, but once you get to where you're going to, once you start to head in that right direction, you don't remember the pain. You remember the lesson.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Absolutely. I ain't going to be right.
The one thing that I want to leave everybody with in this holiday season, moving forward into 2021, and if all things that you have not grown and learned at all is to have hope. I feel like if you give up on hope, then you pretty much have, given up on yourself and your survival. You've given up on your mental health. You've given up on, the possibility of better. Sometimes, we feel like the universe has to manifest for us. And the thing is, the universe won't manifest what you won't do for yourself. The Bible says God helps those who help themselves. Well, sometimes you got to start doing some work on yourself so God can step in. If God sees that you will make a step in the right direction, then yes, he might make 10 towards you. But if you won't put your best foot forward and do something, then I don't understand how you expect anything to happen. Nothing from nothing leaves you with nothing. So if you give up on your hope, you pretty much have just, put the nail in your own coffin. It is hard. When you are financially struggling, when you're emotionally struggling, when you are watching people around you die, when you are really, really going through. But you have to steel yourself to say, there's a better tomorrow. that this is just how life has got to be right now. Like, this might be my new normal, but in this, I can learn something. In this, I can grow from this. In this, I can be better from this. I can still do X, Y, and Z. I can still be thankful. I can still love. I can still see, know that tomorrow will come and there will be better on the other side.
Facts. On facts, on facts, on facts. I heard it someplace, right? And I'm pretty sure I'm going to mess it up. And somebody's going to be like, oh, you stole that from such and such. And newsflash, there's nothing new underneath the sun. So look, I don't know where I heard it. I'm pretty sure it's coming out of the Bible somewhere. I'm probably going to mess it up and misquote. It's all right. I'm giving you the before I do it. I'm going to let you know how it's going to go before I do it. But anyway, look, hope. Why are you laughing at me? That's not nice. I'm going to stretch your ass. Yeah, I know. I talked to your boyfriend. He told me low key you suck.
Yeah, he probably
anyway,
did.
He did. He was like, man, why you ain't let me? Like, I wouldn't know. I don't know in that realm. I'm like, shit, like, hey, you knew longer. He was like, man, we'll talk. Like,
he says it all the time. He's like, you're so mean to me. I'm like, yep, I've been mean to you my whole life. Today ain't gonna change.
Yeah, okay. Well, be careful. Don't be too mean, because there's always some ugly females gonna smile, be a little nicer. Food for thought. Look, so. To piggyback off of hope, right? Like I said, I heard this someplace before. I know it's cool. It's all right. But y'all still I promise you're going to get the gist of what I'm trying to tell you, right? When you have hope bleeds over into belief. Belief bleeds over into faith. And when you have faith of a mustard seed, let me slow walk you through that, right? When you have hope bleeds over into belief. Belief bleeds over into faith. And when you have faith of a mustard seed, when it's so dark that that no light can even come into where you're at, when it's so cold that the warmest of blanket can't bring you no type of heat, when you're at a spot in your doggone life where you can't see nothing for nothing, you gotta hold on to hope. Right? You got to hold on to, you got to believe no matter where you at in your life. You got to believe, right? You got to have hope. Got to hope that, that's all you got. It's just hope. Sometimes I hope, right? I know all that stuff is dead without works, right? But sometimes you work so hard that you're tired. You're tired mentally, you're tired physically, right? So all you got at the end of the day is just hope, right? And you just in this dark despair. You just within this, you're in this space in your life and all you got is hope. And you're so fucking fatigued, you don't know what to do, right? I'm talking to somebody gonna hear this and then be like, yep. And the reason I sound this way, because although I'm talking to somebody, there's been points in time in my life, all the fuck I had was hope. That's all I had. That's all I had, right? And what happened was that they came, they left. They came, they left. And that hope, it was waddling along, right? It started crawling along, right? And then what happened, he got up on his feet, like, okay, cool, I see you. And then it was pulling me along as it was waddling, crawling, now it's on his feet. And then it bled over into belief, right? Right? And then, okay, and it got a little trot to it. Okay, it started running, right? And it ran right in your face. So you see, it started like it wasn't going to do nothing. Like it was a shot. It was dead on arrival. That's what it started like, right? But as though I had nothing left to give, it got me to faith. And once it got to faith, I had the energy because I never lost hope to keep working for whatever it is that I wanted. So I'm telling somebody out here right now, because I know 2020 has been a fucked up year. We losing people left and right. People are losing their jobs. The government sucks ass on a global scale. Yep, I said it. Like we supposed to be for the people, not a problem. So I don't care what you're going, whatever you do, hold on to hope. Just hold. Never stop believing. Just hold. I don't care what it look like. Just hold. Promise you. It better days coming, man. But you gotta hold. I promise you that.
Absolutely. If nothing else, hold on to your hope. But I like the way you said that. Hope bleeds into belief. Belief bleeds into faith. And if you have the faith of the mustard seed. And the thing is, they used to sell those mustard. You remember when they used to sell the mustard seed necklaces? Did you ever see those?
No. I probably would try to cook with them. But anyway.
But if you ever see the size, I mean, if you really do see the size of the mustard seed, if your faith can be just that size, you can definitely start to move, the biggest mountains in your life. You guys are the best listeners. You listen, I couldn't be more thankful for y'all. Y'all have taken me literally, I said this in the beginning, and I say this a lot now, and I'm definitely putting it on a t-shirt. Y'all have taken my voice places my voice places my feet have yet to touch. If you guys did not see us on the gram for Thanksgiving in the midst of cooking, DK and I did a little turn up early in the day.
I was cooking. Don't. So in Mr. Cooking, no, your mom was cooking. I was cooking. I don't know what your monkey ass was doing. Don't be lying to the people.
I was cleaning. I was doing what I was supposed to do.
Oh Jesus! You're running your mouth trying to get me drunk. Tell the truth and shame the devil. Shame the devil.
I was trying to get DK drunk because we had played Never Have I Ever, and DK would not play with shots, and so
that wasn't because I didn't have no shots on the live board that you alluding to. We finally hit Russia. We hit Mother Russia, right? So we hit Mother Russia, and the thing was, I said if we hit Russia, I'm going to have a shot of vodka. I'm not a big drinker. Anybody knows me, have been listening to past podcasts, knows that if I am going to drink, I like my drink sweet. Like Karen frowns upon that. She doesn't think it's manly. It's all right. Somebody got to be the female of the podcast and somebody has to be the man of the podcast. Like we do the
fuzzy navels.
My new lick is the doggone buttery nipples. Like matter of fact, I promise that's going to be a name of a podcast real soon. So we call it, I'm a buttery nipple kind of guy. Not a problem. And so the next time we play, I never, ever, ever have you say the damn thing. I promise you, I'm going to have about 12 shots. Ever. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm going to have 12 shots of buttery nipples lined up and I'm taking them all to the head with the smile on my face.
Right. With some Kahlua mudslide coming next.
I mean, it was like, I'm not, how do you yuck my yum? Like what I like is what I like. See, and that's just the thing, like, because I'm comfortable in all facets of my life. Like, I'm going to let the macho men be the macho men and the macho women, because macho men have hair on their chest and the macho women have hair on their chest. I'm going to stay over here and drink my sweet drinks and, feel just as macho. Ain't nobody yucking my yum, man. I am who I am to the day I die. Now, pass the buttery nipple, man.
But y'all are the dopest listeners. We could not be here without you. Happy holidays from my household to yours. Have a Merry, Merry Christmas. Have a happy Kwanzaa. Have a beautiful Hanukkah. Whatever you celebrate. If you're Jehovah's Witness, then obviously, this doesn't apply to you. But still have a happy holidays. Do the best that you can in this season. Not only of your life, but just, finishing out 2020 strong. Have a happy holidays. This is where I pass my baby off, the Love Is podcast, to the mean man who drinks buttery nipples. Hopefully eggnog, a little spiked eggnog, hopefully for the holidays instead of buttery nipples.
A buttery nipple tastes better than the salted nipple from an unwashed titty any day.
I would not know any of this. The depravity of your host.
A buttery nipple tastes better than a salted nipple from an unwashed titty any day. That should be a t-shirt somewhere.
No, that should not. No.
Why should that be? I think that's so great. Like, we're going to start a campaign, National Wash Your Titty Day. That's what we're going to start. Like, don't you be having a man suck on your titties and your shit tastes like a doggone salted caramel. Like, what? No, I like the caramel minus the salt. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, Lord, say that ain't sea salt, huh?
Shit, I don't give a damn what type of salt. Nobody wants salt on their doggone titty. I promise you.
I don't know how we got here. I don't know how we got here, but
we got here because you always shooting. So I'm not going to shoot back. I'm going to jump all the way in. I'm going to poke fun at myself because that's just what I do.
Lord Jesus. This is where we pass the Love Is podcast. My baby off to the mean man with his buttery nipples. Nipples, salty nipples,
that's
whatever.
How we got here. Because you said that and then I went in, right?
Listen,
right.
Nipple and click clamp necklace, however he's over there. For the daily love jump.
So you can't even give it up because you keep shooting.
Because I'm trying not to laugh.
Right. I'm going to shoot at you and you're not going to like it. I promise you, Like, quiet as kept. People don't even know. Like, I'm going to get to the Love Jones, right? Like, I'm going to get to it, right? So, but people don't even know. Like, in my ninth grade class, we were so bad, we was actually kicked out of school 2 weeks early. Like, because all we used to do was Joan fight and we would go in classrooms and run amok. Like, they was like, look, y'all, and most of us was failing, right? Most of us, you know what I mean? They passed everybody and just get out 2 weeks early and don't come back. We couldn't even graduate. It's terrible. But yeah, so when it comes to like, shooting shots back, you got like, I'm battle tested. I have the gift of gab. Some people call it a dozen. Some people call it Jonin. That's in the DMV area. My daughter said, they don't say that. They say something else, but getting your feelings hurt or whatever it is. But like, one of these days I'm going to chop my co-host head off on air. And she'd be like, I'm not going to bother that man no more. He been warning me. Just what I've been saying. But long story short, we gave y'all 4, right? We gave y'all 4 things that, gifts that you should give yourself. We gave you love. We gave you forgiveness. We gave you evolution. We gave you hope. The 5th thing that I want to, and I told my co-host that, I wanted to save the 5th thing, for the Daily Love Jones is, I'm gonna give y'all a story, and I'm gonna try my best not to be long-winded, but, I really want y'all to take this walk with me, right? So I want to say maybe 2 years ago, I was at Walmart and, I got a phone call, right? So, I usually don't be, on the phone like that. I see a number I don't recognize, whatever the case may be. It's cool. I didn't answer the phone. And then my brother had called me maybe like 2 minutes later. And he said, you heard about Ma. So I just had walked outside at Walmart. And then it dawned on me, like the number that I did answer to actually had a North Carolina area code. It was actually my cousin. So my brother brought me up to speed about my mom. She was in the hospital and she was not doing well at all. So I just got off of work. I ain't even been to my own house yet. I was about to jump in the car and, drive down to North Carolina. Tired as all get out, but it didn't make a difference because my mom was in the hospital. They said she was not doing well. So I gathered my thoughts best I could, and I gave my wife a call to bring her up to speed with what's happening. And I was like, look, I'm about to, head down North Carolina. She was like, wait, you tired? Come home, take a very quick shower. I will drive until you take a nap and wake up, and then you go with us and get us there. So my aunt was with my mom, which is her sister, and my cousin, the one that called me, they was there by my mother's bedside. So we finally get there and, they went home because they was there watching. And so it was just me, my wife and Mama. We was at the hospital. So they got comfortable when I sat in the room and whatever the case may be. And I've never seen my mother in this state, right? Anybody that knows me knows that I'm a mama's boy, but not because, my mother spoiled me. Please, that's not the case. I'm a mama's boy because, my mother is my own personal angel. Like my personal, like she has a direct line to God. Now, whether you want to believe me or not, I could give rat's ass. Like, my mother has prayed for me, superseded for me on my behalf, even when I was not the best child, even when I was not the best son. My mother has always covered me with the protecting, healing blood of Jesus Christ. She has always done this for me. And for me to walk in the room and see my mother not like my mother hurt me to my soul. I immediately was upset. Immediately I was pissed. I was just, what am I going to do? This is not my mother at all. So I sat there through the night. Nurses going back and forth and whatever the case may be. And she's in and out. My oldest brother, he finally comes down and he relieves, my family. We go back to my mom's house, take a quick shower. We all lay down for a hot second. We do this for a couple of days. Now, one night when we finally got, doing the rotation, I'd be there for 12 hours. Then John would come through and, he'd do the other 12. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm tired. I'm going to cut my phone off. And, so cause it's been ringing, people ask me how, my mother was doing, what the case may be. And I just wanted to get some rest because I was pretty much no more good, right? I was just no more good. I had no more energy. I had nothing left. So I cut my phone off and I laid down on my mom's bed. My wife and my daughter slept in the guest room and I actually laid down in the bed and it smelled like her. And I was comforted. I was home, right? I get up the next morning, about to go relieve my brother, you know what I mean? And because my mother had, at this time, she started showing signs and she was doing better. So So I cut my phone back on, and it's my brother's number, and he has blown me the fuck up, right? And as soon as I seen that, as soon as I seen that, of course the worst thoughts came to me. I'm like, wow, I was so nervous to call him back, but God gave me the strength. I gave him a call back. I'm like, yo, what's going on? And he was like, yo, you all right? Like, yeah, I'm fine. And I told him the reason why I didn't have my phone on. And he told me why he was blowing my phone up. He was like, Ma, I had an episode last night, and she had passed, but they brought her back. They came in, they hit her with I want to say defibrillators, you know what I mean? And, they actually brought her back. So, which was crazy. And they said she was gone for at least about like a minute or something to that effect, right? And they was working on her, they brought her back. Like, at that point, hearing that news that my mother, was just that close to death was like some of the, like, I had an out of body experience because I was at a loss, right? When I was going through my hell, when I was going through my trials and tribulations, my father had since passed, my brothers was out doing their own thing, my second wife, me and her was not saying necessarily eye to eye. It was just me going through my go-through. I could always reach out to my mom, and she'd always say, baby, it's going to be okay. She's just small stuff. I'm praying for you, baby. It's going to be okay. Right. So anyway, I get to the hospital, and she's sitting up. It's kind of crazy, right? Like, my mother's like, I promise you, like the Rock of bleeping Gibraltar. Like, she's sitting up, and she's in and out, but she's sitting up, right? She's starting to get back. She's in and out, and sometimes she would just talk crazy, but she's starting to get back. She'll say stuff that only, have conversations that only, we would know about. Like, it just wouldn't be random stuff. Like, and that gave me glimmers of hope that, she can come all the way back. So, long story short, days keep passing, and, she's getting better. She's getting better. She's getting better. I'm still there physically, but mentally and emotionally, I've been checked out a long time ago. I'm mad at God at this point. I'm so pissed. Like, I'm telling God, how can he do this to me? Not realizing we all got to die someday. But of course, me being selfish, wanting to hold on to my mom, right? So we're going back and forth, whatever the case may be. Long story short, the family's in the room, and we all kiki and laughing. And my mother's in good spirits. She's still a little off, right? But, then out of the clear blue, and this is what I want to share with y'all. I know I've been long-winded, but I had to paint the story, right? I had to, because I had to give you the setup. And this is really going to help somebody. Because God knows it's helped me, right? So as we're standing around the room, like we watching TV, but we standing still laughing, sitting, whatever, talking, laughing, whatever. I start to hear my mother, and I want to quote her correctly. So give me a minute. She said something to the effect of that she pleaded life over her life. That I will live, I will not die. I plead life over my life. I will live and I will not die. So if you're missing the point I'm trying to tell you people, man, if y'all really missing what I'm trying to tell you, like, my mother has always been that rock. She's been my rock, but God has always been her rock. And even in her stupor, she knew which rock to lean on. And she knew, and this is what I want to give you, that the power is in the tongue, right? You got to be careful what you say out your mouth when you're going through your go-through. You got to be careful when you keep speaking ill over your life. I didn't watch, I was there, pardon me. But my mother had clinically passed, at least gone for 1 minute. And then when she got back to at least her mind to at least bit, she habit, what I talked about earlier, habit. The good habit was she fell upon that, and she started to pray outwardly, loudly, because she understood that the power was within the tongue. And so everybody got quiet looking at her, and they don't know, right? But I know my mom. So I grabbed my daughter's hand, right? I grabbed my wife's hand, and then we started to repeat what my mother was saying. We did it for about 30 minutes straight. And we got loud with it. We was loud, right? And the nurses was walking by, and they was like, and they understood what was going on, right? And they would nod, and then everybody in there with tears. Like, I gotta understand what I'm telling y'all. Your life is in a place because you keep speaking death over your life. You keep talking about bills. You keep talking about your love life is falling apart. Speak life. Speak love. Speak longevity. Speak doggone financial abundance over your life, because the power's in the tongue. My mother taught me that. She reminded me of that lesson. And when we got done praying, everybody faces wet, you know what I mean? And I felt a relief. I'm like, however play out, God, thank you. Like, I know that was from my mom, but I was a tad bit selfish. I needed some of that energy to bring you up to speed. My mother's fine. She's still a little off here and there, but she's still my mama, right? So what I'm telling y'all today, like, whatever you do, man, like, speak life over whatever situation that you got going on. Stop speaking negativity. Stop gossiping. Stop having fucking pity parties, right? Speak life. Speak joy. Thank you.
Drop your mic.
Yeah, have a blessed one, man. Merry Christmas.
This episode of the Love Is podcast has ended, but please be sure to subscribe for more great content on sex, entrepreneurship, life, love, and how to get through the BS of it all. And don't forget to rate and leave a review so we can continue to bring more of that thorny chick, Karen KK Rose, and, dare I say, the lovable a-hole, Mr. DK Walker. See you on the next podcast.